Story time, story time, story time again. Story time, story time, story time again.
Hi, welcome to San Bruno Library Presents Once Upon a Time, our cable story time. I'm Miss Susan and I have lots of really great books to share with you today. But let's start with our welcome song, okay? All right, ready? We're glad you're here today. We're glad you're here today. Hi-ho the merry-o, we're glad you're here today. I am glad that you're here today. I have a lot of good books, and today our theme is courage. And some people think courage just means being brave, but sometimes it means doing things that maybe make you uncomfortable, you're not sure about. Courage can mean a lot of different things, so we're going to read some books about that. Our first one is called Courage by Bernard Weber. There are many kinds of courage. Awesome kinds of courage, like doing trapeze. And everyday kinds, like jumping off a diving board. Still, courage is courage, whatever kind. Courage is riding your bicycle for the first time without training wheels. Courage is a spelling bee and your word is superciliousness. Courage is 2 candy bars and saving 1 for tomorrow. Courage is mealtime and desperately hoping it's not chunky chunks in real gravy again. That's if you're a dog. Courage is nobody better pick on your little brother. Courage is it's your job to check out the night noises in the house, even when they're kind of scary. Courage is being the new kid on the block and saying flat out, "Hi, my name is Wayne. What's yours?" Courage is tasting the vegetable before making a face. Courage is not peeking at the last pages of your whodunit book to find out who did it. Courage is being the first one to make up after an argument. Sometimes it does take a lot of courage to apologize to a friend. Courage is deliberately stepping on sidewalk cracks. Courage is the bottom of the 9th, tie score, 2 outs, bases loaded, and it's your turn to bat. Courage is the juicy secret you promised never to tell. Courage is being sudsed and scrubbed by strangers. There's the dog in the truck getting cleaned. Courage is breaking bad habits. Courage is suddenly remembering a silly joke and trying not to giggle when everyone else is being especially serious. Courage is arriving much too early for a birthday party. Courage is sending a Valentine to someone you secretly admire and signing your real name. Courage is admiring but not plucking. That's flowers. Courage is going to bed without a nightlight. Courage is deciding to have your hair cut. Courage is trying to cover up your mean, jealous side. Courage is a scenic car trip and being stuck in the middle during the best part. Courage is explaining the rip in your brand new pants. Sometimes it's hard to tell your parents things when they go wrong, so that does take courage. Courage is going on a roller coaster again and again. Courage is, if you knew where there were some mountains, you would definitely climb them. Courage is exploring heights, like space, and depths, like underwater exploration. Courage is a blade of grass breaking through the icy snow. Courage is starting over, like when someone ruins your sandcastle. Courage is holding on to your dream. Courage is being a firefighter or a police officer. Courage is sometimes having to say goodbye to somebody that you love. Courage is what we give each other. The end. And that's the book Courage by Bernard Weber. There's lots of good examples of what it is to be courageous in that book, aren't there? Well, we're going to read another book right now called One by Catherine Otoshi. And this is also about how to be courageous. Blue was a quiet color. He enjoyed looking up at the sky, floating on the waves, and on days that he felt daring, splashing in rain puddles. Oh, that's so much fun to splash in rain puddles. Every once in a while, he wished that he could be more sunny like yellow, or bright like green, or more regal like purple, or outgoing like orange. But overall, he liked being blue, except when he was with red. Red was a hothead. He liked to pick on blue. Red is a hot color, he'd say. Red is hot. Blue is not. And then blue would feel bad about being blue. He would be sad. Sometimes yellow comforted blue. Blue is a very nice color, she'd say. But yellow never said that in front of red. She never said, "Stop picking on blue." Green, purple, and orange thought blue was nice too, but they never told red to stop either. Every time red said something mean and no one spoke up, he got bigger and bigger and bigger. Soon red grew so big that everyone was afraid of him, and no one stopped him. Red picked on all the colors, and then everyone felt a little blue. Until one came. He had a different shape with bold strokes and squared corners. He was funny. He made the other colors laugh. Red saw this and got very hot. "Stop laughing," he told yellow. "Stop laughing," he told green. "Stop laughing," he told purple and orange. And they did, because he was so scary. Red rolled up to one. "Stop laughing," he told him. But one stood up straight like an arrow and said, "No." Red was mad. One wouldn't budge, so red rolled away. One turned to the colors and said, "If someone is mean and picks on me, I, for one, stand up and say no." Then yellow felt brave, and she said, "Me too." And green agreed and said, "Me 3. Then purple became 4 and orange became 5. Blue saw the colors change. He wanted to count. Red grew red hot. He felt left out. He grew hotter and hotter and hotter. Red raced over to Blue and said what he always did. Red is hot, Blue is not. But this time, Blue stood up tall and became 6. Red can be really hot, he said, but Blue can be super cool. Red blew a fuse and tried to roll over Blue. But everyone took a stand and said, no. Seeing them stand tall made Red feel very, very small. Then Red turned even redder and began rolling away. Blue called out, "Hey, can Red be hot and Blue be cool?" Red stopped in his tracks. "Red can count too," said one. Red rocked and rolled and turned into 7. "Everyone counts," they shouted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then Red laughed and joined the fun. Sometimes it just takes one. The end. That is the book 1 by Catherine Otoshi. Sometimes it only does take one person to stand up to someone else who's being mean. I hope that person is sometimes you. All right, let's do a finger play together since we're done with our first 2 books, okay? All right, ready? Here we go. Hurry, hurry to the fire station. Hurry, hurry to the fire station. Hurry, hurry to the fire station. Ding, 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 ding. Hurry, hurry, turn the corner. Hurry, hurry, turn the corner. Hurry, hurry, turn the corner. Ding, 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 ding. Hurry, hurry, climb the ladder. Hurry, hurry, climb the ladder. Hurry, hurry, climb the ladder. Ding, 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 ding. Hurry, hurry, squirt the water. Hurry, hurry, squirt the water. Hurry, hurry, squirt the water. Ding, 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 ding. Slowly, slowly to the station. Slowly, slowly to the station. Slowly, slowly to the station. Ding, 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 ding. That was great. All right, we're going to take a break now. When we come back, we'll read some more books about courage. See you soon.
With video games, I'm always choosing between what my kids want and what I think is best for them.
How about this one?
Which is why I love these new rating summaries. They let me know exactly what's in the game.
Players shoot lasers from an arm cannon. Robot enemies explode and limbs fly off. Maybe that other one's better.
Yeah. Get your free game rating summary today, and with it, the world's most powerful weapon, knowledge.
Got a sports lover in the house? Check out all the different sports programming available on San Bruno Cable. ESPN, Comcast Sportsnet, golf and tennis channels, college sports, professional soccer, football, hockey, and more. And if you have a high-definition television, upgrade to HD for the most crystal clear, sharp images available on TV today. And thank you for choosing San Bruno Municipal Cable Television for your cable TV, internet, and digital phone services.
Hi, and welcome back to the San Bruno Library Storytime, Once Upon a Time. Today we're reading books about courage. Let's get to our next book. It's called The Recess Queen by Alexis O'Neill and Laura Haluska Baith. Mean Jean was recess queen, and nobody said any different. Nobody swung until Mean Jean swung, and nobody kicked until Mean Jean kicked. Nobody bounced until Mean Jean bounced. If kids ever crossed her, she'd push 'em and smush 'em, lollapaloosh 'em, hammer 'em, slammer 'em, cats and cat jammer them. She was mean. Say what? Mean Jean growled. Say who? Mean Jean howled. Say you? Just who do you think you're talking to? Mean Jean always got her way, until one day a new kid came to school. Katie Sue, a teeny kid, a tiny kid, a kid you might scare with a boo. But when the recess bell went ringety-ring, this kid ran zingety-zing for the playground gate. Katie Sue swung before Mean Jean swung, and Katie Sue kicked before Mean Jean kicked. Katie Sue bounced before Mean Jean bounced. The kid you might scare with a jump and a boo was too new to know about Mean Jean, the recess queen. Well, Mean Jean bullied through the playground crowd, and like always, she pushed kids and smooshed kids, lollapalooshed kids, hammered 'em, slammered 'em, cats and kajammered 'em, as she charged after that Katie Sue. Uh-oh. Say what? She growled. Say who? She growled. Say you, she snarled and grabbed Katie Sue by the collar. Nobody swings until Mean Jean swings. Nobody kicks until Queen Jean kicks. And nobody bounces until Queen Jean bounces. And she figured that would set the record straight. Now she was mad. She figured wrong. Katie Sue talked back. Just as sassy as could be, she said, "How did you get so bossy?" Then that puny thing, that loony thing, grabbed the ball and bounced away. Oh, Katie Sue was one quick kid. She bolted quick as lightning. Bouncity, bouncity, bounce. Kickity, kickity, kick. Swingity, swingity, swing. Mean Jean thundered close behind. Bouncity, kickity, swingity. The recess queen was not amused. She raced and chased and in-your-faced that Katie Sue. No one spoke, no one moved, no one breathed. They were all too scared. Then from her pack pulled Katie Sue a jump rope clean and bright. "Hey, Jeanie Beanie," sang Katie Sue, "let's try this jump rope out." Here's one thing true, until that day, no one dared ask Mean Jean to play. But that Katie Sue just hopped and jumped and skipped away. I like ice cream, I like tea, I want Jean to jump with me. That was her song. Jean just gaped and stared as if too scared to move at all. So Katie Sue sang once more, I like popcorn, I like tea, I want Jean to jump with me. Then from the side, a kid called out, "Go, Jean, go!" And too surprised to even shout, Jean jumped in with Katie Sue. I like cookies, I like tea, I want you to jump with me. The rope whizzed and slapped. Faster and faster the rope spun and flapped. Faster and faster, till it caught in a tangled disaster. But they just giggled and jumped again. Well, now when recess rolls around, that playground's one great place. At the school bell's ringety-ring, those two girls race zingety-zing out the classroom door. Jean doesn't push kids and smoosh kids, lollapaloosh kids, hammer 'em, slammer 'em, cats and jammer 'em, 'cause she is having too much fun rompity-romping with her friends. Bouncity, kickity, swingity, hoppity, skippity, jumpity, ringity, zingity, yes! And there's Katie, Sue, and Jean jumping rope together. The end. That is the Recess Queen. So Katie Sue had to be courageous and ask Jean to come and play with her, but it all worked out, didn't it? All right, our next book is called Blue Horse by Helen Stevens. This is another story of a girl who has to be courageous. Tilly was new in town and she didn't have any friends yet. So she stayed inside and played all by herself. It wasn't much fun playing hide and seek when no one was there to find her. And when she played soccer, no one kicked the ball back. That's not much fun. Then one day, Tilly had a tea party. There were no guests to invite, so she put Blue Horse on a chair. 1 lump or 2, she asked. Actually, said Blue Horse, I prefer my sugar lumps without any tea. Tilly was so surprised. You can talk. And from then on, Tilly and Blue Horse were best friends. They flew to the moon, and Blue Horse said Tilly was the best astronaut he had ever seen. They went to the Wild West, where Tilly won the first prize in the lassoing competition. And when they went to the theater together, Tilly wasn't scared, even in the scariest scary parts. One day, Tilly saw a girl alone in the park. I wish I could say hello, but I'm too shy. Shy, said Blue Horse. You are the best astronaut I've ever seen. You won the Wild West lassoing competition, and you weren't even scared in the scariest scary parts. Go on, you can do it. I'll watch from here. Tilly ran down to the park. Excuse me, she said. Would you like to play with me? Okay, said the girl, whose name was Pip, but only if my friend Wee Pip can play too. She had a little friend. Fantastic, shouted Tilly, and she called to Blue Horse. Come down and meet my new friends. So Blue Horse flew down. And that afternoon, Tilly made lots of new friends and met their special friends too. The end. That's Blue Horse by Helen Stevens. Tilly had to be brave to introduce herself to a new friend, didn't she? But she was helped by having such a good friend like Blue Horse. All right, we have one more book today about courage, and this is called Pip's Magic by Ellen Stoll Walsh. And Pip is a little salamander. It's a little lizard-like animal. I'm afraid of the dark, said Pip. Even shadows scare me. And his friends didn't know how to help. But the frogs did. Ask old Abra the wizard, they said. He's over by the pink rock, turning stones into mushrooms. Magic, of course, shouted Pip. Magic might help me be brave in the dark. I'll find old Abra and ask him for help. Pip ran to the big pink rock. If you're looking for old Abra, you're too late, said the mouse. He went into the woods and he won't be back. Pip sighed. It's as black as shadows under a rock in there. But the wizard has magic, and I need magic to be brave in the dark. I must try to catch up. And he followed old Abra into the dark, dark woods. "No one could find the wizard in here," said Pip. "I can't even find my own feet." And at last he saw sunlight peeping through the branches, and he followed it out of the woods. "If you're looking for old Abra, you're too late," said a sparrow. "He went into the tunnel and he won't be back." "Then I'll go too," said Pip. "Oh dear, this tunnel is as black as night with my eyes closed. But the wizard has magic, and magic might help me be brave in the dark." And he followed in after old Abra. Pip ran up and down the tunnel and looked in all the darkest hiding places, but the wizard wasn't there. Pip found his way out just as night was falling. "If you're looking for old Abra, you're too late," said a snake. "He went over those hills and he won't be back." "The night is as black as river mud," Pip said with a sigh. "But I need magic to be brave in the dark." And he climbed through the night after old Abra. Pip found old Abra resting where the sun rises. "Please give me magic, old Abra. I need magic to be brave in the dark," said Pip. "But you already have magic," said the wizard. "You found it in the woods and in the tunnel and in the night. You have enough and maybe some left over." Pip tested his magic just to be sure. He put his head under the rocks where it was dark again. Old Abra was right. He wasn't afraid of the dark. Pip took his leftover magic to a quiet place. "What are you doing?" asked a frog. "Shh," said Pip. "I'm going to turn stones into mushrooms." The end. Well, he was very brave, wasn't he, while he was trying to find some magic? And he turns out he didn't need any magic at all to be brave. He was a brave little salamander. That's the end of our books for today. I'd like to thank you for coming to Storytime, and we hope to see you in the library sometime soon. All right, let's sing our goodbye song. Ready? Here we go. Well, it's time to say goodbye to our friends. Well, it's time to say goodbye to our friends. Well, it's time to say goodbye. Make a smile and wave goodbye. Well, it's time to say goodbye to our friends. Bye-bye. Hope to see you soon.
So sit me down and let the spell begin. I'll find myself in story time again. Story time, story